So hi guys, this is Chirayu Jain and welcome to my channel. First of all, I would like to thank you for subscribing my channel and for constant love and support to my videos. It feels surreal. And now I would like to say that many of you are texting me on LinkedIn and Instagram that how we can start in competitive programming, how we can improve in competitive programming. So what are the steps that we should take in competitive programming? So a few years back, me and my friends started this journey of competitive programming and we end up in decent product-based companies. So what I did was I summarized the whole journey of ours into just 4 simple steps. So I made this video in just 4 simple steps that how you can improve in competitive programming if you are at some level, and if you are a beginner, then how you can get started in competitive programming. So please have a look at this video completely, and at the end I'm sure that it will have a decent impact on your journey as well. So let's start with the video. Okay. So now let's move on to step 1. So step 1 says having a good control over a language, having a good command on a language. So what does this mean? What does this mean that having a good control on a language? How we can say that we have a good control or not over a language? So it simply means that whatever is coming in your mind, can you write it down as a code? If you can write it down as a code, whatever thoughts that are coming into your mind, whatever logic that is coming into your mind, that means you have a good control over a language. That means you have a good command on a language. For example, you have been given a problem and you have developed the logic of this problem, that this problem is solved by this logic. So can you write this logic as a code? If yes, then you have a good control over a language. So if you have any prior experience in language, in any of the language, then what you can do, you can just skip to step number 2. If not, then what we need to do, we need to understand a language. We need to decide a language, that which language should we take for competitive programming. So in competitive programming, there are majorly 3 types of languages which are most prominently used. So these languages are C++, Java and Python. So these are the 3 languages which are most commonly used in competitive programming. So what we will do, we'll analyze these 3 languages, what are pros and cons of these languages, and at the end what we need to do, we need to decide that which language should we take for this competitive programming. We can choose multiple language, we can try to submit the code in C++ or then in Java or in Python, but that makes more complicated situation. So if we are a beginner, then what we need to do, we need to stick to one language, understand its properties, understand how the language is working, and then submit the solutions for different problems in competitive programming. So we need to have a good command over a language. So let us analyze these 3 languages because they are most commonly used in competitive programming step by step, and what are the pros and cons, and at the end what we need to do, we need to decide one language. So this is the step number 1, that having a good command over the language and having a good control over the language. Okay, so let's start comparing these languages. So first I will take C and C++ together. So if you are learning C, then it is very easy to move to C++ by learning STL. So STL is standard template library, and I will make a separate video on that how we can efficiently use STL and move from C to C++. So what are the properties of C++? It is a very basic language. We have various options and various things to play around these languages, and various things to develop a good control and logic abilities. So what we need to do, we need to develop everything from scratch. There are minimum inbuilts provided to us, and we need to develop ourselves by applying logic and doing various things. So it will enhance our mind capabilities, and it will help us to revolve around the things and play around various stuff that is coming into our mind. The con part is that it is not used in development. So you will find the minimal usage of this language in the development sector. So this is a con that I find in C and C++. It is the maximum used language in the competitive programming world. Now let's move to Java. So Java is the language which has best usage of object-oriented programming. So if you want to learn object-oriented programming like classes, interfaces, inheritance, polymorphism, then the Java is best for you. It will also help us to develop the logic. We need to write the code from the scratch, and there is not as such inbuilts provided in Java, but there are some inbuilts, but not very much inbuilt. So we need to develop the code from scratch, and it will also enhance our mental capabilities. It is also used in development side. So this language has a good usage in development as well as competitive programming. So it will make your journey balanced. So what one disadvantage is that I find is that the code is bit lengthy. So as compared to C++, the code is bit lengthy in Java because you need to develop classes and import various things. So a code is bit lengthy, but if you are good with your typing speed, then this is not an issue for you. So you can go for Java as well. Now let's move to Python. So Python is a very new language and it has a small code and easy code. So if you are a beginner, then you need to write a minimal code and the format is very easy for you. So if you are writing 15 to 20 lines in C++ or 30 lines in Java, then you can sum up your logic in 5 lines in Python. So this is very good for you, and it is also used in development part. So Python is the language which is most commonly used in development side too. But what is the disadvantage that I felt is that it has various inbuilts. So if you are in competitive programming, then you need to develop your mental capabilities, you need to develop your logic. But if someone provides you inbuilt, then what you will do, you will directly apply the inbuilt and you will not try to learn what the logic is behind on that, right? So this is one disadvantage that I could find on Python, that it has various inbuilts. So it is very good in development side, but in competitive programming, as we are coming to improve our logic, so it is a con for us, it can be a con for us. So this is the comparison that what I find in C++, Java and Python. So now it's the time to move to step number 2. Okay, so let us see step number 2. So in step number 2, what I call is developing the core. So what we need to do, we need to develop the core of ourselves for competitive programming. So I divided this step into 2 parts. First part is choosing a platform and second part is basic maths. So choosing a platform means choosing a site in which we can practice different problems for coding. So generally I prefer these 3 sites for practicing problems. The first one is HackerRank. So in HackerRank, it is a very good site and it is a very user friendly site which provides you various filters according to different complexity of the problem, like easy, medium and hard. And it also has various tags in which you can select a particular tag. Like if you want to do a problem on dynamic programming or number theory or game theory, you can select that particular tag and you can filter out the problems from easy to hard and do a particular type of problem. So it is very user friendly site. And the second most good thing of HackerRank is that it provides you a very good editorial for a particular problem. So if you are solving a problem and if you are stuck on some point, then it provides you the editorial and in a detailed manner so that you can learn and progress further in that particular topic. So this is about HackerRank. And what is one disadvantage or one con point that I find about HackerRank is that it has a lot of problems and a lot of repetitions also. So if you are solving one category of problem, the same type of problem you can find on HackerRank once more. So it provides you a repetition of a particular type of problem. So this is one con that I can find on HackerRank. Otherwise it is a very good site. The next useful site is Forge, that is Sphere Online Judge. So it is also one of the best sites that I encountered. It has a good variety of problems, it has a decent interface, and what you can find on Spoj is that you can find a limited problems but effective problems to develop your logical abilities. So this is all about Spoj. One disadvantage that I would like to mention is that it is a static website. There are a lot of problems that was uploaded before, but now I cannot see a new problems that are added on Spoj. So this is one disadvantage that I could find on Spoj. Otherwise it is also a very good website to start with. The third one is CSES. So CSES is a very good website for a decent programmer to start with. It has a limited set of problems. You cannot find many problems on a certain topic, but it is a limited good set of problems for you. So if you want to practice less but a good problem set, then you can go to CSES, and it has a very easy interface to understand. On the main site you can find there are various topics listed and a certain problem set for you that is listed, and you can just go and directly solve the problem. The disadvantages of CSES is that there are no editorials for the problem, so you cannot find a proper editorial from CSES to a particular problem. So this is all about these 3 websites. So do not get confused in mixing up the websites, like some problems I'll solve from HackerRank, some from Spoj, some from CSES. You can do this also, but I would suggest you that go on any of these websites and start practicing the problem. This is the best way. Choose any one of the platforms and start solving the problem step by step, step by step, step by step. This is how we improve in competitive programming. So this is all about choosing a platform. The next step is basic mathematics. So let us see what basic mathematics do we require to get started in competitive programming and to get a good hold in the initial set of problems for any competitive programming exam. Okay, so let us understand the basic maths portion. So the first point is prime check in order of root and time. So what we need to do in this is, we have been given a number and we need to check whether it is prime or not. So we can do it in order of root and time complexity. So this you need to learn. The second point is sieve of Eratosthenes. So it is the one of the most efficient way in which we can find all the prime numbers smaller than a particular number. The third property is prime factorization. So as we have all learned what is prime factorization in our earlier classes, so we need to implement this now in the real life. Fourth point is GCD and LCM. So GCD, as we all know, is the greatest common divisor and LCM is the lowest common multiple. So we need to know how we can find the GCD of two numbers. There are various problems involved on the concept of GCD. So understand this concept very clearly. There is inbuilt provided in the languages of finding GCD of two numbers, but what we need to do, we need to develop the logic that how GCD is coming for two numbers. So develop the logic for this. The fifth point is modular exponentiation. So I'll give a brief that what modular exponentiation is. That for example, we have been provided with three numbers, that is x, y and m, and what we need to find is, we need to find x to the power y modulo m. So how we can find this is, if the numbers are very large, then what do we require is the concept of modular exponentiation. So if you require, I'll make a separate video for modular exponentiation concept and various other concepts that are involved in basic mathematics. Now the next point is basic combinatorics. So we need to have a basic knowledge of what is combinations, how we can apply NCR, what is basic inclusion and exclusion principle required. So there are some questions which involves the concept of basic combinatorics. So this is the basic maths section, and now let's move to arrays. So what do we need to know in arrays to get started in competitive programming? So prefix sum array. Prefix sum array is one of the important topics. It also occurs in various of the competitive coding events like long challenge, cook-off and lunchtime. So prefix sum array is getting an array of prefixes, sum of prefixes, right? So we need to maintain an array in which we compute the sum of prefixes. The second topic is frequency array. So we have been given an array and there are some elements which are repeating. So we need to maintain the frequencies of these elements. So we'll make a separate array known as frequency array. So you need to know that how we can make this frequency array. Logic of sorting algorithms. So there are various sorting algorithms. There are various inbuilt functions which we do in competitive programming, like we directly apply sort function, but we need to know the logic. This is both helpful in your company preparation as well as in competitive programming to develop the logic of sorting algorithms, because in companies they'll ask you that what is the logic behind merge sort, quick sort, and in competitive programming also there are some questions which involves the concept of recursion of merge sort which we form using recursion, and the logic of quick sort, and how we need to divide and conquer and then apply this problem. So the logic of sorting algorithm is very important to understand. The fourth point is binary search. So there is also an inbuilt provided in the languages for binary search, but we need to develop the logic that how we form binary search, how we perform binary search, what the output we get, how the recursive steps are working, how we can solve binary search using iteration method. So these are some key points that we need to learn. The fifth point is lower bound and upper bound functions. So there are some direct questions which are in the competitive coding contest which involve the usage of lower bound and upper bound functions. So have a good practice of these functions. The second last point is greedy approaches. So after applying the sorting algorithms, there are some conditions in which we can form a greedy solution to a particular problem. So we need to know that how we can form greedy approaches, right? And the last point is DFS and BFS. So if you are learning graph, then the first basic concepts that we learned during the graph is DFS and BFS, that is depth first search and breadth first search in graph. So if you are new to graph, then I have made a separate playlist for graphs for competitive programming, so you can check the link in the description, and the study material for all of these approaches, the various resources are available in the description, so you can check it from there. So this is all about step 2. Now let's move towards step 3. Okay, so in step 1 we learned a language. Now we have been equipped with our equipments. In step 2 what we did was practice. So we practiced with those equipments, And in step 3, what is it? It is BattleGround. So now we need to battle. And this BattleGround is divided into two parts, that is Code Chef and Code Forces. So the languages that we learned, the concepts that we learned till step number 2 is applied on these websites, that is Code Chef and Code Forces. There are various contests which are running on these websites. So I'll explain you step by step that what are these contests. So let us take Code Chef first. So in Code Chef we have 3 major challenges that is held every month. First one is the long challenge. It is the 10 days process in which we have been provided with several questions, and in 10 days we need to find a solution. So it is the contest in which maximum participants participate, right, in the duration of 10 days. So I'll make a separate video on long challenge, that what should be the mindset, what should be the mind capabilities during the long challenge, how we can relax our mind, how we can do efficient work in the duration of 10 days of a long challenge. So I'll make a separate video for that. So if you have not subscribed to my channel, then please subscribe my channel and hit on the bell notification for more updates, right? The next challenge is cook off. So it is a short duration contest which is held after the long challenge, and in this cook off we need to solve a problem efficiently. So we cannot submit the problem like upon our choice, that if the question is not accepted then we can submit 10 times or 5 times. So it will give us the penalty in that case. So our ranks are decided on the basis of the efficiency of the problem, that whether we are getting an full correctness, partial correctness or not. And the second is the timing constraint, that in how much time we are able to submit the problem. And if we submit a wrong solution, or a solution has a time limit exceeded signal, then what we will have in cook off is we'll have a penalty. Then it comes lunch time. So lunch time is also a short duration contest on Code Chef, and it does not have a penalty. It tests you that whether you are efficiently submitting your problem or not. So it is the third competition that is held on Code Chef. So these are the 3 major challenges that is held on Code Chef. Now let's come to another BattleGround, that is Code Forces. So the major 3 challenges for every beginner and every person who is trying to improve in competitive programming is Division 2, Division 3 and Division 4. So there is also a Division 1 which is for a certain which is you can apply after a certain level. After reaching a certain level you can go for Division 1 as well. But for the beginners and for those who are want to improve in competitive programming are these challenges, that is Division 2, Division 3 and Division 4. So what you can do, you can start from Division 3 and Division 4, and then if you feel that you are having a good command over the problems in these challenges, then you can also go for Division 2. So these are of fixed types. These all are short contests in which there are 4 to 5 problems, 4 to 5 good variety of problems you need to solve in a fixed time. There are penalties if you hit a wrong submission. There are penalties involved in all of the contests. So these are the 2 specific contests for Code Chef and Code Forces, in which what you will do, you will test yourselves. Till now what you have done, you have prepared yourselves on the various sites as we have discussed in step number 2. After practicing, now what we need to do, we need to battle ourselves. We need to check ourselves that where we are standing in this competitive programming part. So this is the step number 3 in which we will battle. We'll find ourselves, we'll check that whether we are improving or not, whether the graph goes down or goes up. So it does not mean that improvement means like this graph linearly going up. There will be time when you will go up, when you will go down. So what you need to do is you need to have patience in yourselves. If you have patience, then you will definitely succeed in this competitive programming. So patience is the key factor in competitive programming. Okay, so now we are on the final step, that is step number 4. So what step number 4 says, that +1 rule. So what does this +1 rule means? So by +1 rule I mean that if you are giving a contest, and let us say that there are 6 problems in that contest and you are able to solve 4 of them, so it's your responsibility to solve 1 extra problem from each of the contest. So what does it help you? It helps you to improve yourself from this level to this level. So you are giving a contest and you have solved the problems from the concepts that you have learned previously. So there is no improvement. You have applied your concepts, you have applied your knowledge, you have applied your skills to solve these problems. but what we can get from the contest is that we need to learn something. So what we can do, we can take one problem which is not solved by you and try to explore by exploring various tags in the problem, that it has binary search or it has DFS, BFS, or it has greedy or something else. So by various tags you can identify the concepts that you need to learn and then study those concepts and then try to code it. Try to look into some other solution, that how others have solved the problem or what is the editorial of the problems, or by looking at some video that how we can solve this problem. So you need to constantly improve yourself in this journey. So it is very important step, and we being from tier 3 college always apply this principle that we need to solve 1 or 2 extra problems as per your choice after the contest. So this is one of the most important step out of these 4 steps to apply on competitive programming journey, to constantly improve yourselves, to constantly level up your game. So this is all about competitive programming from step 1 to step 4, that is from having a good control over the language, developing the core of the language, studying some basic mathematics and preparation for BattleGround, and the step number 4 is +1 rule. So if you apply these steps to your competitive programming journey, then I am sure that it will have a considerable amount of positive change in your competitive programming aspects of that you desire to have in yourself. So this is all from the video, and if you want that there are some topics or concepts that you need to get learned, or you need to get practice of, then you can always comment us on the comment section and I'll try to make videos on that. But there is lot of things in the queue. I'll be posting various videos on mathematical concepts and various videos that I just discussed in these steps. I'll be posting separate videos for that. So if you are new to the channel, then please do subscribe, hit a bell icon button so that you can get easy notification about what the content and what the videos are posted on my channel. So if you are new, then please subscribe and please share my channel, because these types of videos take a lot of time and lot of energy to be made on, and it gives me a sense of motivation and pride that if my number of subscribers are increasing and my watch time is increasing. So please do subscribe my channel and share my channel. Thank you for watching the video.